Hi guys, welcome back or welcome. Today we're going to be making apple cider vinegar hot process soap. And in case you're wondering, what is the difference between cold and hot process soap? It starts out the same way. You have your lye solution and you have your oils, and then you mix the lye solution into your oils and you blend it until it comes to trace. Now with the cold soap, your soap is pretty much done at this point, and with the hot process soap, that's when you're gonna start cooking it. So it does take a little bit longer to make it that way. However, I really like the hot process soap because you can add so many wonderful ingredients at the end without killing them with lye. And today we're gonna add apple cider vinegar because it has a lot of great benefits. For example, it helps to gently exfoliate your skin and brighten up your skin. It also makes it look younger, and it helps to balance the pH level of your skin and heal and prevent acne, and it has a lot of other great benefits as well. We're also gonna add Panthenol, which is a humectant, and it helps to draw the moisture to your skin, so it makes your skin more moisturized and hydrated without adding any greasy feeling to it. You can also add extra oils to this soap to super fat it, and I actually like doing that during winter because I usually add castor oil and it makes my bars of soap creamier and more moisturizing. Alright, let's get started.
In the crock pot, we're gonna measure our oils. 100 grams of coconut oil, 112 grams of olive oil, and 38 grams of castor oil. We're gonna start warming them up in a crock pot on low setting. Meanwhile, we're gonna measure 60 grams of apple cider vinegar for now. And 35 grams of apple cider vinegar for later. We're gonna add that after we cook the soap. Next, we're gonna measure 35 grams of lye. In this case, it's sodium hydroxide because we're making bars of soap and not the liquid soap. Make sure before you work with lye you put your safety gear on. Always use gloves, respirator mask, and safety glasses. And make sure you're in a well-ventilated area. Now we're gonna mix our lye into 60 grams of apple cider vinegar we measured just a few minutes ago. You want to do it a little bit at a time, otherwise you will end up creating a little volcano here because this mixture will get really hot and it will start bubbling. And then just set it aside in a safe place away from pets, children, and other people. Once your oil's melted, we're gonna add our lye solution to the oils. It's always a good idea to use a strainer in case some lye flakes didn't fully dissolve. We're gonna give it a stir with a spoon at first, and then start blending with a stick blender until it comes to trace. Because we're making such a small batch here, we kind of have to tilt the crock pot to be able to mix everything properly. Took me about 15 minutes of steady mixing to get it to a nice thick trace. But the time will depend on which oils you use and whether you use other ingredients like sodium lactate or others. Once your mixture came to trace, we're just gonna cover it and start cooking it. While our soap is cooking, we can measure 5 grams of Panthenol for later. And 15 grams of essential oils. I'm going to be using 5 grams of rose absolute oil, 5 grams of lemongrass oil, 5 grams of orange oil. You can use any essential oils that you like. I cooked the soap for 30 minutes on low setting without checking it or stirring it in between. Since it was a very small batch, I didn't have to worry about my soap running over the edges. After I stirred it, it looked sort of like a mixture between applesauce and Vaseline, and that's what we're looking for. This translucent looking soap. This is a good time to take your soap out of the heat. And do a pH level test. Your soap should test somewhere between 8 and 9 to be safe to use. Now we're gonna add the rest of apple cider vinegar. Stir it nicely with a whisk. Then add Panthenol. And essential oils. Stir everything well. Now we can put our soap into a mold. Make sure you tap it often to help the soap settle down evenly. Also avoid scraping the dry edges. They're not gonna incorporate well in your soap. Just leave them for later. At the end, you can use parchment paper to smooth out your soap. Just gently tap on it. And after you're done, let your soap sit for about 24 hours. You can also scrape the soap that turned dry on the edges if you don't want to waste any ingredients. And make it into a small round soap. It's gonna be crumbly, but it will still be usable. The soap was ready the next day, but I didn't have time to record the video, so this is what it looks like 2 days later. As you can see, the soap has a nice rich leather and foams really easily. And that's why I like using the oils we used here in these exact proportions.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, give it thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions and comments, please leave them below. I'm always glad to hear from you. Stay well, be good to yourself and others, and I will see you in the next video.